This is an article that came out on NBC News, April 3rd, 2018. Nightmare bacteria are trying to spread in the US, CDC says. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to be exceptionally careful when it comes down to your health because we are around a people that are notorious for planting viruses and diseases on the public. They have been doing this from the beginning, and they're doing this shit now. These super bacteria, these are not natural things. It's not a natural disease. This is something that was created in the lab, and it's now multiplying and mutating and doing all kinds of crazy things. But this is not natural at all. Lab made and unleashed on the public. Nightmare bacteria with the power to resist most antibiotics are popping up across the US, but new aggressive policies can help stop them from spreading, federal health officials say Tuesday. Now, let me just go on. I got so many things going on in my mind. A new program for testing suspect bacteria turned up unusual antibiotic resistant genes 221 times in 2017, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention reported. And 11% of people screened for these superbugs carried them, even though they had no symptoms, the CDC said. I actually had surgery in 2006, and I picked up a strep virus from the hospital that I was in. It took over a year for them to kill that virus in my body. If I had things on me, they would not heal. But let's say I scratched my arm actually would not heal as long as I had this bacteria in my body, and it was resistant. I was hospitalized multiple times and given intravenous antibiotics. It took doing that for an entire year, y'all, before this virus finally went away from my body. It was a terrible experience, and I had this thing and I had to get up and live my life as normal as possible. And it was really difficult. I didn't even tell a lot of people that I worked with at that time because I just didn't want to talk about it. It was a real sensitive subject for me. Now that years have gone by, I can talk about this now, but I know what it's like to have a superbug, and I know what it's like for them to use all types of antibiotics and it doesn't work. That's why, I may go overboard, but I make sure I go above and beyond to take care of myself now. I don't overlook things. I don't try to act like, oh, well, I don't need to take vitamins and I don't need to do this. No, I take my vitamins faithfully. I take my herbs and other, I do my smoothies like clockwork every single morning. When I get out of my bed, I go downstairs to get my smoothie. I do it every single day. And I make sure I put my black seed oil in there. I put my bitter herbs in my smoothie. I do all of that stuff because it's the one thing that have kept me from being sick all this time. I may experience a few things, but I notice one thing, even when I get a sore throat or a headache or anything, I bounce back a lot quicker now. And I think it's because my immune system is built up from everything that I do on a regular basis. So when I read this is a starch reminder of why we must take care of ourselves. These antibiotic resistant superbugs, ladies and gentlemen, kill people every year. There are some people where these bacterias will completely destroy them internally and they die. I was lucky that it did not come down to that. The doctor that I had at the time was very diligent about staying on top of this. This is why he kept hospitalizing me for antibiotics to be put into my system intravenously, because he said they're the most powerful ones. I was also taking antibiotic pills, but he just didn't feel they were effective enough. So they just kept putting me in until eventually the intravenous antibiotics killed the bacteria that was in my system. And at that time, I was not taking black seed oil, and the things that I take now. I probably could have got rid of it a lot quicker had I known in 2006 about black seed oil. So, unfortunately, I didn't, but I do now. So, as you can see in this article, it tells you antibiotic resistant germs kill more than 23,000 Americans a year. It's probably more than that. I'm serious. I believe they're lowballing that number. They evolve quickly, developing mutations that let them evade the effects of antibiotics. And not only that, they go all over your body, into your internal organs, your brain. These viruses, these bacteria go everywhere. It goes into every square inch of your body. And that's another thing. It's another reason why they're hard to kill, because not only do they go everywhere in your body internally, they keep mutating over and over. They mutate so fast that the antibiotics they give you are ineffective, because it has learned to strengthen, the actual virus has learned to strengthen itself to the point where the antibiotics are ineffective, because it's just constantly mutating over and over and over, changing itself to something else. So, so I can tell you firsthand about this, and it's not easy to deal with. I remember that whole year when I was going into the hospital, my son was petrified, and he was he was petrified. He was so scared I was not going to recover from this, but I did. So here we go. This is what I wanted to get to. Once antibiotic resistance spreads, it is hard to control, like a wildfire. That's exactly a very good way to describe it. The CDC said in a statement, the World Health Organization has labeled antibiotic resistance a fundamental threat to humanity, and I agree with that. The CDC tried a new system aimed at quickly identifying these superbugs. They've helped staff up health departments and labs to speedily test samples so that hospitals, clinics, and other facilities can rapidly isolate patients infected with them. We were able to put 500 additional staff across the country to help with this. Shoe Chat told NBC News. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can have these super viruses, but you're not affected by it. So, brothers and sisters, get into doing smoothies. Don't just make it all vegetables and all fruit. Put a combination of both in there. Put some fruit and vegetables. Like I bought romaine lettuce for my Passover, and I have been taking leaves off of my romaine lettuce and putting it in my smoothie, and along with some carrots and other vegetables. And then I put in some I like Granny Smith apples, so I've been putting some Granny Smith apples in, mango. So I always make it a combination of fruits and vegetables. And then I put in raw honey because, raw honey is really good, especially if you have inflammation or any type of problems with stiffness, use some raw honey. I use raw cherry, chlorophyll, black seed oil, and my I can't speak right now. Apricot kernels. I put some of those in, and I mix up my smoothie, and I have this every single morning, straight out of bed. After I shower and take care of myself personally, I go down and I have my smoothie. And I can tell you also, I'm a lot more energetic because of the smoothies every single morning. It just gives me so much energy. And that's another reason why you should do it. But we have to overcome this. So just make sure you keep your immune system up, not just for yourself, but everybody in your household, because these things are going to happen. And the only way we can be unaffected by this kind of stuff, ladies and gentlemen, is we do everything we can to kill these things in our system with the natural things that are here on this earth. Now, remember, the Most High said the fruit is for food, and the seeds inside of the fruit is for medicine. So you make sure when you do your smoothies, you keep those seeds in your oranges, you keep the seeds in your apples, and let your blender just grind that stuff up. Just let it grind up. I have a Ninja blender that I bought myself a year ago, and it has like a lot of interchangeable parts and different size cups and everything that I can put on there. And you may want to think about getting something like that. And believe me, it grinds the seeds up so well. I barely taste the seeds when I'm drinking the smoothie. That's how well it grinds everything up. And another thing that's good, when you buy organic eggs, please look into this. Don't throw the eggshells away. Grind those eggshells up in your smoothie. Because let me just show you this. Hold on. All right. You want organic eggshells, not the white ones, ladies and gentlemen. Not the white ones. The organic ones, the brown eggs. Okay, those are the only ones you should be eating. Don't buy the white ones. Get the brown eggs because those eggs are organic. All right. You want organic eggs. Do not, if you eat eggs, do not buy I know they're cheaper and more affordable, but those are not the shells you want because those shells have hormones in it. All right. Eggshells naturally should be brown. Make sure you get that. So why do you want to grind up an eggshell? Eggshells are the highest in calcium. You are not going to take a calcium supplement that's going to be more powerful than the calcium that's in eggshells. And you grind it up, and yeah, it gives your smoothie a grainy taste, but after a while, you really do get used to it. You get used to it. So, right here, you can eat eggshells for calcium. So, you want to grind them up. You could even get eggshell powder, and it's even recommended that you give it to your pets because, as they age, their bones weaken, and you can mix it in with their food to keep their bones strong, even when they become elderly. I had my dog for 19 years, and I had him that long because I gave him a lot of organic stuff out of my garden. That's why he survived as long as he did. So, most of us eat eggshells regularly, then throw out the eggshells, not realizing all of the value that's really in the eggshell. Consuming eggshells on a regular basis will actually make your muscles so, not your muscles, I'm sorry, your bone structure so strong. You know, people will break their bones over things that it won't even affect you. You know, somebody may fall and break their arm. You may fall, but I'm telling you, it won't have the same effect on you. Um, so the eggshells are edible. I know when you hear that, you're so used to hearing that you got to throw those away. No, and you shouldn't throw them away anyway, especially if you got a garden. You want to put the eggshells in your garden, mix them in the soil, because when slugs get in there, the eggshells will actually cut them up. It cuts their bodies up and they die, so they don't destroy your garden. So I use, whenever I used to have the white eggshells, I threw all of those in compost. I never used those. But when I had the brown eggs, I always kept those shells. So eggshells for calcium. The key nutrient in eggshells is calcium, or calcium carbonate. In fact, eggshells consist of 95% of calcium carbonate. The makeup of eggshells is similar to our bones and teeth. So no surprise that eggshells promote bone and teeth health. There have been studies where people that have broken teeth, or a cavity that fell out, and they start doing the eggshell every day, and it actually regrew and filled in the hole that was there from them doing eggshells every day. So don't forego this, ladies and gentlemen. Take those brown eggshells, crush them up, drop them into your fruit and vegetable smoothie, and drink it. Like I said, when you first have it, it's like it kind of gritty tasting, but after a while, after so many days and weeks of doing it, you get used to it. But if you want to get the best possible calcium for your body, it's in the eggshell, not the supplements that you take. The supplements are good if you want to take that in addition, but really the eggshell is all you need for the best calcium you could possibly get. And like it says, it's very much like your actual bone and teeth. So your body takes it and gets so much value in promoting health for your bones and your teeth and even your nails. And you'll notice everything will get stronger after you start doing the eggshell. I never discard these shells. I always use them in my smoothie. So just something for you to think about, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I know I rambled on for way too long. You're probably getting a headache listening to me. But just know, in these last days, we're going to get a lot of things unleashed on us. It's a lot of evil going on. It's best that you try to stay away from things and people and places as much as possible, because this stuff is going to spread from everywhere. You're going to be unknowingly going to a store and pick up these bacterias, or going to the movies and picking it up. So make sure you keep yourself healthy and strong, so these bacterias will have a hard time attaching themselves to you. Wow. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. Join me over on Black Junction TV, blackspot.com. Peace, family.